Hello everyone, I'm Andy Nishimi. I am the counselor at Ream Elementary School. On the board you can see my counseling team. We've got Justin Castro at JN, Kimberly Denton at Camino Pablo, and Roxana Rojas at Los Perales. And for context, we are on year 3 of every site within Moraga School District having a wellness center and a full-time counselor. And before I tell you a little bit about the counseling program, I just want to give you a little bit of my background. I see some familiar faces in the room because I used to be the wellness coordinator at Miramonte High School. And the reason that this is relevant is because, in my opinion, the most impactful tier 1, meaning proactive early intervention level work that can happen social emotional wise and wellness wise is when you get the kids at the youngest ages the tools they need to navigate conflicts, to build their confidence and sense of self-efficacy, to be able to interact with groups and their peers. And so I say this because if you were to look, kind of like Dr. Nickerson brought in earlier, at the biggest macro scale, elementary wellness feeds in from, the earliest levels we see our children all the way through when they will leave Campo, because we are setting this foundation for them to be as successful as they can with their people skills, with their SEL skills. So I'll tell you a little bit about the program. Dr. Parks, if you could advance us. Thank you so much. At the elementary level and also at JM, the biggest goals we have around SEL learning is to really infuse these topics into everyday the classroom experience for our students. So what that looks like is, in this case, this is a community circle and a lesson on how to be an upstander with a 3rd grade classroom where they learned different strategies for how would you interrupt moments of mean comments or if someone's picking on another person. And sometimes that's facilitated by counselors. Sometimes that's facilitated by teachers, because with the support of NEF and being able to have full-time counselors at every site, we also have the capacity to coach up our staff on how to lead these interventions. So students are getting this every day and not just when I push in to the classroom. One neat thing too about our counseling and wellness support is we have wellness centers where students can come and take a break if they needed to throughout the day, if they're overwhelmed from a test, they're feeling frustrated, that they had a conflict at recess. And in those spaces, I always say we're doing our job the best we can if they leave and they say, I've got the skill to then translate to the next time I'm frustrated or the next time I have a conflict, because at the end of the day, we are trying to build students who can learn these skills and apply them in their own world on their own. Other ways that the counseling and wellness reaches every student is, like I said earlier, we do some consultations and support for parents, for teachers. On the proactive side, we do these school-wide campaigns, such as the Great Kindness Challenge, Start with Hello Week, Wellness Week, all aims at infusing some of these skills into the classrooms. And a lot of what we do is restorative practices and conflict resolution. And I have to tell you that everything that counseling and wellness is connected to feeds this sense of belonging, because we are supporting kids in being integrated into their classrooms. We're supporting our kids who often have the most conflicts into rebuilding and repairing their relationships with each other. And one of my students showed me their reflections entry for this year on belonging and said, when I can show people the many different sides to me, they understand me more and I feel like I belong. And that's all work that our teachers facilitate and that our counseling team is so skilled at also facilitating, in terms of creating these spaces where kids feel safe enough to share, connect, and learn. So that's just a little sneak peek into our world.